In the early hours of January 3rd, 2026, Donald Trump bombed, terrorized, invaded, and kidnapped the leader of Venezuela. Sounds a lot like a coup. It's an outrageous imperialist act definitionally. We in Canada are staring down the barrel of American fascism. And America has the means, they have the power, they have a lunatic at the top willing to do crazy shit, destabilize the world for his own personal vision. This is an 80-year-old man with his brains leaking out of his ear. Trump said, oh, America's gonna run Venezuela now. Most importantly, their oil production.
Don't ask me who's in charge because I'll give you an answer and it'll be very controversial.
What does that mean?
It means we're in charge.
They spent so much time in the lead up to the Iraq War manufacturing consent, but people understand now that it was partially about control of natural resources, oil, the big one. Donald Trump just says it.
The U.S. is going to run Venezuela, so who's in power right now?
Well, we're going to be running it with a group, and we're going to make sure it's run properly. We're going to rebuild the oil infrastructure, which will cost billions of dollars. It'll be paid for by the oil companies directly. They will be reimbursed for what they're doing, but that's going to be paid. And we're going to get the oil flowing the way it should be.
He's not hiding it. They're there for the oil.
Venezuela right now is a dead country. We have to bring it back. And we're going to have big investments by the oil companies to bring back the infrastructure. And the oil companies are ready to go. They're going to go in. They're going to rebuild the infrastructure. You know, we built it to start off with many years ago. They took it away.
Trump says it's their oil. They get to take it, so they can just go around bombing places and kidnapping world leaders.
Because she called it kidnapping of Maduro.
It's all right. It's not a bad term. Go ahead.
Now, if I was Mark Carney, I'd be a little concerned about that right now. Epstein's best friend for over a decade has got his nasty little hands all over the Americas. That's right, the whole of the Western Hemisphere. Fall in line, surrender your oil, or you are next. Trump has released a country hit list of who's next. Colombia.
Colombia is very sick, too. Run by a sick man who likes making cocaine and selling it to the United States. And he's not going to be doing it very long, let me tell you.
What does that mean? He's not going to be doing it very long.
He's not doing it very long. He has cocaine mills and cocaine factories. He's not going to be doing it very long.
So there will be an operation by the U.S. and
It sounds good to me.
Cuba, Mexico, Greenland.
We need Greenland from a national security situation. It's so strategic. Right now, Greenland is covered with Russian and Chinese ships all over the place. We need Greenland from the standpoint of national security.
They're openly threatening citizens of all these countries, openly saying that they're doing it for oil reasons.
Considered the largest theft of property in the history of our country. Massive oil infrastructure was taken like we were babies, so we didn't do anything about it.
They want the oil. I want it. It's mine. You can't have it. The thing with fascism is you will always inevitably be next. First, they came for the Venezuelans. So if I was Mark Carney, I'd be concerned for the citizens of the country because in the course of kidnapping Maduro, they killed dozens of people in Venezuela. What is Mark Carney's response to this insane development and destabilization by Donald Trump? Let's read.
One of the first actions taken by Canada's new government in March 2025 was to impose additional sanctions on Nicolas Maduro's brutally oppressive and criminal regime, unequivocally condemning his grave breaches of international peace and security, gross and systematic human rights violations, and corruption. Canada has not recognized the illegitimate regime of Maduro since it stole the 2018 election. The Canadian government therefore welcomes the opportunity for freedom, democracy, peace, and prosperity for the Venezuelan people. Canada has long supported a peaceful, negotiated, and Venezuelan-led transition process that respects the democratic will of the Venezuelan people. In keeping with our long-standing commitment to upholding the rule of law, sovereignty, and human rights, Canada calls on all parties to respect international law. We stand by the Venezuelan people's sovereign right to decide and build their own future in a peaceful and democratic society.
That's Carney's response to America invading, bombing, and kidnapping the leader of an oil-rich country in the Americas? He welcomes it? Buddy, that's you. That's you. This isn't elbows up. This is face down, ass up. It's crazy. He puts out a statement that doesn't even mention the United States of America, doesn't even mention Donald Trump, doesn't mention the crimes that are ongoing. It's just an attack on Venezuela's leadership. Mark Carney's just saying they were asking for it, really. They were doing things wrong, and they deserve to be bombed and have their leader kidnapped and plunged into instability. Canada can and will inevitably be next. That is why we must oppose American imperialism and fascism now. America's threats of annexation never went away. 51st state, everybody remember that? Elbows up. No, Mark Carney's going around welcoming it. Regime change. Here's why Mark Carney puts out this asinine statement that welcomes the opportunity brought by America's crimes against Venezuela. Mark Carney is an obedient dog, a lapdog suckling on the teat of capital. Carney is firmly in the lap of fascist billionaire Donald Trump, nodding along to his master's orders. Oh, I welcome it. This is great. Yeah, those guys, they were bad. They deserved it. Yes, Daddy, Canada is with you. I'll have to put out an ambiguous statement attacking Venezuelan leadership after a slaughter of Venezuelans, nodding along like a good little puppy. He is a dog to capital. Reminder, Mark Carney is a 10-plus millionaire with multiple homes. The literal definition of a CEO, world banker, elite person. He's not looking out for you. If he was, he would take this imperialist fascist threat coming from America seriously. Mark Carney has no principles. He has no worldview to stand on. He's just there to not rock the boat and keep the capital owning class happy with their stocks going up and to the right, while citizens of the world are brutalized by America's fascist imperialist ideology that is inevitably going to come for Canada. Oh, and conservatives in the government are exactly the same, because liberal and conservative parties are subservient first and foremost to capital. They'll just package it differently. With Carney, he's got to say, we welcome it and they kind of deserved it, is the exact same output as PP going, congratulations to President Trump on successfully arresting narco-terrorist and socialist dictator Nicolas Maduro, who should live out his days in prison. The legitimate winner of the most recent Venezuelan elections, Edmundo Gonzalez, should take office along with the courageous hero and voice of the Venezuelan people, Maria Corina Machado. Down with socialism, long live freedom. It's essentially the same response as Mark Carney gave, just being more clear and explicit in the condemnation of Venezuela and the celebration of Trump's actions. Carney welcomed it, PP celebrated it. Conservative and liberal parties will always concede to fascism because they respond to capital, and capital will always side with fascists to protect their own personal capital ownership. This is the history, fascism, the world around, and we're seeing it roll out in real time through this suited up white boy appeasement for the fascist Donald Trump. Because that's what this is. This is appeasing Donald Trump to not shake the boat. Mark Carney is a subservient dog to Donald Trump. PP mentions Machado, in case people aren't familiar with, is Trump's very own ass-kissing Chevron oil puppet, and has openly said she will sell the country's resources to American capital. This is the same Machado who is just pro-Israel, begs Israel to intervene and advocate for American intervention in Venezuela. Oh, she's a Nobel Peace Prize winner. This is crazy. And here's Mark Carney. Quote, I spoke with Maria Corina Machado today. I affirmed Canada's support for a peaceful Venezuelan-led transition of power, one that respects the democratic will of the Venezuelan people. So Carney's not outrightly acknowledging and saying she's the successor, but what he is doing is revealing who he's talking to and who he is working with. In this case, Trump's ass-kissing Chevron puppet. Oh, he supports a peaceful Venezuelan-led transition of power? Motherfucker, America just bombed, killed dozens, and kidnapped the head of a foreign country under the clear pretense of stealing their oil. That's not peaceful. That's not Venezuelan-led. That's a violent imperialist regime change. But Mark Carney can't acknowledge that because he's sucking at the teat of capital. So instead, he's just got a vaguely gesture towards democracy and peacefulness while siding with the aggressor. It's insane. Mark Carney is an imperialist, appeasing capital dog. And we as Canadians should be opposing Mark Carney and Canada's complicity in this outrageous imperialism in the Western Hemisphere and everywhere else. Guess what? Canada's next. It's only a matter of when. When? Donald Trump doesn't give a fuck about democracy. He tried a coup on January 6th. A really poorly executed one, but he tried it. Why wouldn't he take Canada, an oil-rich country in the Western Hemisphere, which Donald Trump says is theirs, America's to dominate and extract from? They're openly saying they just want to completely dominate Canada. What's stopping him from doing that? Oh, because we're historic allies? Because we're democratic? Because we're white? None of these things matter. Fascism comes for everyone. Mark Carney, your name's next. Just a matter of when. Yeah. That's pretty much my thoughts on this. We'll see how the situation develops in Venezuela and the Don Roe doctrine. I want everyone to take care of themselves. Peace and love. Free Palestine. Mark Carney. And Donald Trump. Bye, everyone. Till next time.